And finally tonight, listen, it's not a huge headline to learn that there's a lot of pork in Washington, D.C., but this is pork that's become pretty controversial outside of the realm of politics. It's Major Tuddy, the brand new mascot for the football team here, Washington Commanders. Let's take a look at Major Tuddy here so you can all know exactly where we're at. There he is. Commanders. They haven't had a mascot the entire time they've been here in Washington, and now they finally do, and it's something else. I have very strong feelings about this. Of course, this harkens back to the Hogs, the glory days of the Redskins many decades ago. But there's a lot of people who have been vociferously against this abomination of a pig man parading around on the field. But what do I know? I'm just a commentator, radio host, and TV host. We need to bring in an expert. His name is Corey Inganamort. He is not only the executive producer of the Vince Coglianese Show on WMAL in Washington, D.C., but in his previous life, he was, in fact, a professional mascot. In fact, not just a professional mascot, he was the Screech, the Eagle for the World Series champion Washington Nationals. All right, Corey, I've outed you to the world. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Larry. It's a unique profession to be able to finally talk about. And previously, when I was Screech for 13 seasons, they didn't allow me to talk about it. So I'm excited to join you, give you all the inside information about the mascot world.
Well, specific to this mascot, listen, I'm sure you've seen the social media reaction. There's so much hate being leveled at this poor guy who dresses up like a pig for a living. Do you take that personally? Have you reached out to this guy? Does he know you? I mean, it's gotta hurt, right? Or does the mask sort of protect you from all of it?
No, like mascots are people too. You know, we have feelings, and my feelings have gotten hurt many of times in the past. But you know, I look at this mascot unveiling this past weekend. I mean, look, every mascot when it's introduced is going to be met with hate, a resistance to accept it. You know, every fan base in the country thinks they're like the greatest, most tradition. We don't need a mascot, and when a mascot gets introduced, they're like, "No, this feels gimmicky. We don't really want this because we're just such good fans." But look, I mean, I don't think it was a major miss. I mean, when you introduce a new mascot, the biggest thing that you want to avoid is a major mess up, a major collapse. I think it somewhat met the moment. It wasn't like the greatest unveiling in the world, but it wasn't a disaster.
Oh, you're being so charitable. The fraternity of mascots out there is pretty strong. Look how generous you're being.
Hey, you know, us mascots, we gotta stick together. It's not like I said, it's not a fraternity, it's the fraternity. We gotta stick together. Although there are some mascots I don't like. We can go through that later.
All right, let's do that over a cocktail. But back to Major Tuddy here. His appearance. I mean, it is a little jarring to see a giant, 7-foot fat pig man running around and with a war helmet. I know that likens itself to the commanders and the military present here in Washington, but really, war pigs? Is he gonna come out to Ozzy Osbourne singing? Right? Generals gather in their masses.
You know, mascots that do better are the ones that aren't so serious looking. I mean, I think its face works for it meets the moment. I think the body needs a little bit of work, especially looking at it from a performer perspective. I mean, I would like to see like hoops around the belly, almost like a hula hoop. So it's like it's big, wobbly. It moves when it walks.
Yeah, it looks like they got a pillow at Target and just stuffed it in there to make him look sort of mushy dad bod like.
It's mushy dad bod, and from what I see, I was like, that looks hot as hell. Like you need a little bit of space in between the fur and your actual body, and the way that's set up, it looks like a big, little, giant pillow. So you got all this heat pressed against your actual body. Like I wouldn't want to wear that thing. That doesn't look very comfortable to me.
Thematically, though, you were an Eagle for the Washington Nationals in the nation's capital. That's brilliant. I understand it's a connection to the Hogs from the Redskins, but you can't escape the fact it's Washington, there are politicians, and it's a pig.
Pork seems like the greatest animal that could exist for a mascot in Washington, D.C. Yeah, I mean, Eagles are patriotic and cool, but like, it's D.C. we're talking about. It's not necessarily the United States of America. It is Washington, D.C., a pork. Even though I don't think the Commanders had any connection to do with, pork bringing back to, our Congress people, I think it actually makes a lot of sense. And from what at least what I think, I don't think there's any other pig mascot, at least in the professional leagues, that exists. So I kind of like it.
All right. Well, listen, you're right, Corey. I appreciate you shedding some light on it. The mascots are human too. I get it. That said, I saw one Instagram comment that said that Major Tuddy looks like a part of the male anatomy, and I can't unsee it now. So it's gonna, you get what I'm saying. We'll leave it there. That's it for tonight on O'Connor Tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. In the meantime, I'll see you on the radio.